Ladies and gentlemen, my name is B-Dummy and this is Shadowverse, a digital trading card game which was developed by Cygames, who you might know as the developers of somewhat famous Rage of the Bahamut. It is also a trading card game released digitally on Androids and PC, but most of you probably know the anime. Well, that's... honestly, I never watched the anime, I accidentally came across this game and I thought it was a fun digital game. I mean, digital card game. Honestly, I prefer playing card games in real life with other people. There's a certain aspect to it when it comes to playing card games, actually. It's not just your luck and ability to make decisions with the cards you have in hand. It also revolves around the ability to read your opponent's facial expressions and guessing what he's about to do. And the second I'm really not happy with digital trading card games is the reason why we had card games was because people like to imagine they're mages and they like to summon creatures and cast spells. Cards were just there as mediums to help us imagine those battles between two mages. Why do people make card games on a digital platform, on a computer and Android, is beyond me. This is just my opinion. But anyway, this is my opinion, so let's not dabble into it before it gets too weird. Let's take a quick look at the options menu and then we'll continue on the gameplay itself, or actually we'll discuss the business model of the game. As you can see, this is you cannot see, but this is a free-to-play game. The card expansions, which I will demonstrate in a minute, are also free. The only things you actually pay for are just cosmetic items. I'll give you a demonstration of everything in a minute. So first, let's take a look at the options menu. Due to the fact that this is a card game, the options are fairly limited. You have music, sounds, and audio options are separate sliders. That's always good. You can choose between frame rates of 30 and 60 FPS, and you can choose the resolution. I'm not playing this at full screen due to the fact that this is a very small game, so I don't need a full screen to play it. I can just play it in the background if I'm working on something. Battle animations, it depends on the preferences. I recommend you leave them on for a while, but for the first couple of matches, but once you get bored you can just turn them off. I mean, I like them. They just add some entertainment value to it. And confirm and turn. This is somewhat redundant. If you want to end turn, why do you need to confirm it? I mean, you can, if you're playing this on a mobile device, then I understand you might press the end turn by accident, but this is a PC. Well, this was a PC game first, and why do you have confirm button on it is beyond me. Anyway, enhance and display cost is. I'll give you the rundown of the basics in a minute. So, as you can see, this is. We could have custom mouse controls. This really doesn't require a keyboard, so I'm just gonna activate them. I usually have them active. I probably deactivated it by mistake, and I was just complaining about ending the turn by mistake. Karma. Level follower. Everything is. Yeah. Okay, that's it for the options menu. As you can see in the upper right corner, we have two currencies in the game. The first one is gold, which is earned as you play the game and log in on a daily basis. There are daily rewards which grant you money or purchase tickets, which are used to purchase booster packs. I'll give you a demonstration about it in a second. And crystals, which can be purchased, which are the real life money version of, you can purchase crystals for real life money, and the crystals are usually used just for cosmetic items, not cosmetic items. You can also purchase pre-built decks, but there are a lot of custom deck builds which can be found on Reddit. So you know what? I'll leave the link for the Reddit page in the description below the video. Don't thank me. I mean, you can thank me in the comments, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. As you can see, we have one ticket card for. We have one ticket for a booster pack of 8 cards. As you can see, a booster can also be purchased with gold and crystals, which I do not recommend. Wait a couple of days until you get a ticket and stack them up so you can get a lot of packs, or if you're really in a pinch, you can use gold. I recommend you use gold for cosmetic items such as alt skins for your heroes. And that means heroes, and you'll see in a second. You'll see pretty soon. For now, let's just take a look at how purchasing the cards in the game works. As you can see, I like the opening of boosters. There is some joy to it. You see, beautiful animation, you have to click. There is some level of interaction with it. It's not just click once and get revealed and everything gets revealed. And I'm lucky I got a couple of rare cards. As you can see, this is a very rare card due to the fact that it's glowing like crazy. And due to the fact this is a monster card, since I opened this already, I'll give you a quick rundown on what each card does. I mean, what are these symbols on the card? As you can see, this is the cost of the card, which how many tokens are needed to be, well, how many tokens need to be paid for the card to be played in, to be summoned, and if it's a spell, it's used instantly, and once it's used, spells are used instantly. If a monster is just summoned, it cannot attack on the turn it's summoned. And as you can see, this is the attack, which is how much damage the monster deals, and this is the monster's health or defense. This is how much damage the monster can take. In some cases, some monsters have a guard or guard ability, which enables them to, which basically means you're supposed to destroy the monster with a shield in order to attack anything else. As you can see, this is a spell card, which is instantaneous ability, which can be used. And unfortunately, we have an amulet, and this is an amulet card, which is a special type of spell which lasts for a couple of turns. After each turn, the card's ability activates, and you're granted a monster or a certain type of bonus. So those are the 3 cards you usually have: monsters, spells, and amulets. I'll give you more. Yeah, we got, as I said, this is a very rare card, so we got rewarded. As I was saying, what was I? Yeah, as I was saying, each card has the game revolves around your luck and ability to actually make decisions on how to make your cards. But I think I already stated this in the beginning. As you can see, there heroes can be purchased for either crystals or in-game currency. I have several of them already purchased. I don't know what you do get some crystals once you log in for the first time, but I forgot. I wasted my crystals on something basic, on something blatant, so I cannot remember what. Unfortunately, I think it was one of the first heroes I purchased. I'm not sure which one. As you can see, there are also hero characters from Street Fighter, but those are real life money only. Unfortunately, I would like to play with Ryu and Chun-Li, but I'm not that lucky. And also you can purchase card sleeves, but I already purchased most of them, so no such luck. As you can see, you can build a custom deck, and there are 2 types of decks that can be built. A rotation, which is a seasonal deck, which has some limits to the cards it can contain. For example, I In one season, I'm not allowed to use the Queen of Thorns, but I can have 2 Fairy Gardens, for example. That's the rotation season. I mean, that's the rotation. And the unlimited basically means anything goes when it comes to cards. Now, we can build a... excuse me. Well, right. I have to choose one of those, so I'm just choosing the unlimited so for demonstrational purposes. As you can see, we have 8 types of decks. Yeah, we have 8 decks, and each one is led by a hero unit. Now, these heroes do not affect the gameplay. Well, actually, they have a counter special counter that enables some monsters to use their abilities, but the heroes themselves do not partake in the fight directly. I will just show you. Well, yeah, I love the artwork in this game, and yeah, that's not because of her big round eyes. I mean, just look at this guy. And the armor design, the character design is just awesome. As you can see, we have each deck contains 40 cards, and each card has a, well, as I already stated, has a summoning cost. And if you're a starter, I highly recommend you start with a forest deck, or any deck that relies on low cost cards. So for example, if I want to make a specific deck, I just open this, well, let me show you again, this icon, and I can choose which types of cards do I need. Do I need cards that do not cost anything? I just punch a 0. If I need another one, if I need 1 cost cards, I punch 1 card, I mean number 1, and so on. I can just disable it. Same goes for any of the other abilities. Well, types of cards. As you can see, cost, type, class, rarity, what type of pack. Everything you need is listed, and you can easily find the cards you need. You can also demolish the set cards or liquefy them to get liquids, which can be used to create other cards. I'm not going to destroy this card. That's these are pretty decent cards. Well, the ring is a pretty useful card, so I'm not going to demolish it. So let's see. That's deck building and cards. We have. Let's take a look at the gameplay options. There's multiplayer, which is unranked, ranked, private matches. The arena, which is, well, it requires a ticket or entry fee of 150 gold or crystals, or 1 ticket for a chance of playing 5 matches against other people who with randomly assembled decks, which basically means you have 15 pairs of cards with 2 cards each, and once you create a deck of 40 cards, you have 5 matches against other people, and your wins and losses are calculated, and you're rewarded. Your usual rewards are usually cards and money. In some cases, you get a crystal, and if it's a special event, you're also rewarded with extra cards from the new expansion. Also, there's a story mode and practice mode. For quick demonstration, I'll just give you a brief look at the story mode. I get to choose between the 8 characters I have. For now, I'm just gonna go with Arissa. She's the basic character. And from here on, we just go towards, well, let's go with somewhere, yeah, let's go here. This is a easy chapter. It's challenging. It has a decent challenge. And this is how, oh, rats. I don't think I have any, I have a default deck, so I'm going to use this. So basically, this is how the game usually works. I'm
sure Isabel will complete her mission, and I'll find Rosaria.
You basically, in the story mode, you have your selected character meets his or her opponent and talks to them for a brief moment, then enters a fight with them. And this is usually shown in a visual novel style. It's very nicely voice acted, I have to admit. A+ to every voice actor in this game, but I don't want to spoil spoil the story, even though it's, well, it's an interesting one. As you probably saw on the world map, there is a constellation of stars on the map, and it's called the Morning Star. And once it appeared, monsters that can duplicate your character appeared and started attacking the other people. Well, and now we're just on the way to stop that. Well, to investigate this card. I mean, not card, the star. And as you can see, the match started between me and my doppelganger, and I am going second after, and I'm going after the doppelganger. But first, I can choose if I want to change my hand, or the cards in my hand actually. So I'm just gonna switch it for a fighter. Well, another card, but which happens to be a cold fighter, which is somewhat, well, kind of funny if you look at the ironic side of things. So as you can see, this is how the game works. I get a set amount of points I can use per turn, and each card will cost me a specific amount of points. After each turn I get additional point, and the rest of my points are restored. Unfortunately, I do not have any points, so I'm not able to summon anything or use any card. And as you can see, this circle with a number in it, it's my evolve. It's the number of turns before I can use an evolve, before I can evolve my characters. So for now, I'm going to summon my Fairy Whisperer and get 2 additional cards. This is an effect of my monster. And evolve basically lets me upgrade my monster to a higher level, which grants it better attack and defense, and it also enables him or her to attack the opposition. This doesn't mean it can attack my opponent directly, it can only attack another monster. But if a monster was summoned and not destroyed and survived my opponent's turn, it can attack me or my monsters. So for now, I'm just going to, let's see, I'm going to deal damage to this monster and get additional card. Unfortunately, I do not have enough points to summon other monsters, but I did summon a character which, upon death, gives me another card. So I'll be able to summon a bunch of monsters pretty soon. And that's the basic gist of the game. Well, there are some other aspects, such as some monsters are capable. Oh, yeah, this card, for example, it says Ward. This is a shield monster. It's more than excuse me. This monster, for example, it has Ward. It basically means I am not allowed to attack any other monster except this monster. Until this monster is destroyed, I am not allowed to attack the opponent nor any monster in his field. So for the time being, I'm just gonna spam my monsters in, and I am going to evolve my soldier immediately so he can attack the Guardian. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the rest of my monsters are unable to evolve, I cannot evolve more than one turn. I can only evolve once per turn. And I recommend you try, well, what the hell? You can only evolve monsters once per turn, and unfortunately, once a monster is summoned, it cannot attack. Its abilities are activated, but it depends on how you use them. Well, it's not. You cannot choose if you want to activate them. Once you put the monster in the field, the effects are activated whether you want to or not. So for now, I'm just gonna summon the Shield Maiden, or Sword Maiden actually, and evolve her on the spot so she can destroy one of my opponents. And that's for these two. I'm just gonna clear the field, even though this is a bad idea. And I do... Okay, this is new. So yeah, this is basically how the game works. My goal is to end my opponent's life before he or she can end my own. This is indicated by this shield in the upper right of my well, above my character. Yeah. Well, this is a stronger monster and I'm summoning it now. Yes, she can evolve now. And I think I'm going to start attacking her just for pure vengeance. Come on, end the turn. Okay, this is... Well, this is how the game works in every other aspect. There are no mutators or special... Well, there are special events, but you cannot influence them. I mean, the special events that occur are there, but they do not mutate the game in any shape or form. This is not Hearthstone. Even though it's fun... It is fun like Hearthstone, Actually, this is better than Hearthstone, in my honest opinion, but... Don't tell Blizzard! They usually get offended by it. So I cannot evolve, so I think I'll just end this episode here, because this might take a while. My name has been, as I was already saying, the game is fun. I honestly prefer playing card games in real life with other people, but this is a free-to-play title. The expansions it gets are frequent and free, and it has a, well, not a very epic story. Well, it is a interesting story, not original, but it's an interesting one. I mean, it's end of the world, and a bunch of heroes have to stop it. That's the basic gist of it. I recommend you give it a try, if nothing else. And if you can play with other friends, you can play on Android and iOS devices, not just your computer, through Steam. It's made by Cygames, who have some experience with digital card games. They have even inspired an anime called Rage of the Bahamut, if I didn't mention this already. And honestly, I can't complain. For its asking price, it does what it sets out to do. The artwork is amazing, the music is nice, a bit repetitive, and the arenas are also interactable to some degree. As you can see, I click this door and it opens and lets in butterflies. That's always nice. So, my name has been B Dummy. Thank you for watching and good night.